that what I see, what I know, and what I'm about to tell you is the truth and nothing but the truth. Tonight, I am going to give you the remote viewing role, everything that I know, everything that I have held back, and everything humanity has not been ready to know. Not up, I believe, until this point. As you know, there was a psyop going around back in 2017 when Donald Trump first took office, and it was called QAnon. Q was presented as an information about what the deep state was doing. It built up a huge audience on an anonymous platform, and it became known as QAnon. There has been many truth seekers, many people who have gone down the rabbit hole, especially during the COVID lockdowns, who believed that this was the true information and that the deep state were doing something against humanity. And if you have to understand something, when a psyop is put together very cleverly, they do mix truth with lies. They blend it together. Because we do believe, we the people, that there is a world we know and a world we do not know. Call it the rich elite, call it the ruling elite, call it the deep state, whatever you want. But there are those ruling this planet, and we are very aware of that. So if you have an unknown entity putting posts out onto the internet saying that Donald Trump is sort of the next Messiah, not in so many words, but you know what I mean, and that he is here to save the planet and save the people from the deep state, then you have to ask questions. You see, this was a slow build-up. And he was even asked at one point, do you know who Q is? And he said no. But you have to ask yourself, do you really believe this man now? Now, I am not speaking as a MAGA supporter or as a Republican or as a Democrat. I am speaking as a Brit. But I'm going to tell you something what happened to me, and we're going to go quite back, quite a few years now, possibly around 2020, maybe 2021, when QAnon was at its height. I was out one day at my mother's house and I had my internet on and it wasn't working. As you know, when we go somewhere regular, we want to use the internet. You can connect to this Wi-Fi, to their Wi-Fi, should I say. So I went into the settings on my iPhone to put in my mum's internet details. Much to my shock, what came up was the White House, Washington, DC. And it was already linked. I could not understand it. At the time, my channel was rising very, very quickly. And I was deep into all this Q information, talking about it and trying to work it out, just like many others, many of my followers at the time. Apparently there was a TV series put out there, like a documentary or a special documentary it was, and it had aired in Australia. And one of my clients contacted us and said that a lady I didn't know personally, right, and said that I'd been featured in this documentary where they were calling it QAnon, okay, and saying it was all conspiracy theorists which were being messed with psychologically, okay. And if she is listening, I would love her to reach out to us, because she definitely did contact us. And of course she said I was in the TV series labelled as one of the conspiracy theorists, much to my shock. Basically, right, it was because of, I had predicted Trump the first time around, and there had been many things that followed, and that's how I gained a lot of MAGA followers at the time. But anyway, the second election came, as you know, and obviously it all went wrong for Trump. This was during the build-up of the Q. Q was posting a lot, running up to it. And it was really, really intense, you know, posting more posts than normal. And it got this thinking, something is not quite right with this. By that point, right, I had pulled back and started basically doing more of my own thing. But what kept happening was I kept disconnecting this White House link and it kept reappearing on my phone. And I felt like I was being tracked. It was really, really weird. And I also had some bizarre situations where my iPhone said I was in 2027 one day. And I thought that was strange as well. I actually had a witness to this because I took a photograph on the iPhone of everything and asked what the time and the date was, and it came up as 2027. And I believe it was 2027. It may have been January or February, I can't remember now. But I saw the headlines on Google and it said catastrophic changes in the US. And they were blaming Trump, and they had Trump. It was all over the internet and everything. And all of this stuff about the crash in the economy. Then when I went back to it, it had all gone back to normal and it had gone back to the normal date. But before that happened, I took a photograph, like I snapped it with my phone and sent it to my friend Jim. Jim helps us with things on the internet. I think I've spoken about him many times on my show before. So obviously when it had disappeared, I asked Jim, can you remember when I sent you that link? And he said, oh yeah. But this is the thing. It was missing from his link and it had been removed from my end, from the photograph album. Completely removed from the album. So I thought that was strange. But you see, this has happened to us many times before when I've taken photos of UFOs and strange phenomena and I've gone back in and found them are removed. They've been removed. Anyways, you know, the second time around, Trump didn't get in, Biden got in. And this was after the whole build-up of the Q saying Donald Trump was definitely going to win. Okay. And he was going to defeat Biden. And it was built on all these Republican and MAGA follower-ups, like they were all saying it. Not all Republicans, but the ones who were following Q. And of course it didn't happen, as you know. So me being me, I went out onto the internet and I said on a live show, you've all been hard, Q was lying. And I literally got attacked, I think at the time, by like nearly 1,000 people. I lost. People attacking us and everything, you know, and I was so bloody angry at the time. I was angry for the people who had been deceived as well, because I knew that there was something in it. I knew that it was a psyop by this part. Now, as you know, after that, we had the January the 6th carry on, and that was all chaos and a build-up. And of course, later, he gets in the second time after Biden. But this got me thinking, and I did some more remote viewing on it. And what came through was really strongly is going to blow your mind. I could see him with like this quantum technology being held back, which they're holding back from me, right? But Trump had access to this. You had other people working on this. And there's only certain people, elite people, whatever you want to call them, know about this. I think you go so far up the Illuminati ladder and you can find out what the technology is really out there. And they are going to bring it in at some point. I've spoken about this before. They're going to bring it in and bring it all up to date to where we should be. Because I actually don't believe we're in 2026. I think we're far more advanced than that. Everything's just labelled as a number in this matrix world. But then, and they sort of like the whole situation, this is what they do to control humanity like cattle. This is what I believe to do. So then I went in remote viewing and I saw what I saw was when Donald Trump was in the presidency, underneath the White House, right? I'm not saying literally, but behind the scenes, he was doing something with this quantum technology or people who were helping him. And I believe he had access to this technology. So when Biden got in the second time around, they were tracking everybody. This PSYOP goes way, way back, right back to 2017. And they were tracking everybody who followed him. And I think I've got caught up on that with me phone. You're all going to be checking your phones now, aren't you? To see if you've been linked to the White House. So I believe they have this technology and to mind control the masses, and they were doing it in gatherings and events as well. They were tracking people, his fans, his followers, people like that. And I've started thinking, were they tracking me at that point? Which I believe they were. I don't believe they're doing it now, but I believe they were. Obviously, it didn't continue forever. And I think it stopped when I had a second awakening and realised something was off there. All right. But it was as if they all had this funny gaze about them, you know, and it was like they were under some sort of trance. I've seen this before. I mean, just look at, you know, North Korea, when they're all like obsessed with Kim Jong-un and clapping like seals. They all go in sequence. It's really, really weird. And that's what it looked like at some of these MAGA events. It didn't look normal. Then it got us thinking, what if Q was Trump? Just think about this for a second. What if Q was Trump? What if Q is Trump? Or is Trump? Or he had a group of individuals doing this for him. This may not have been operating from the US. Maybe there was just some technology there tracking people. But whoever was doing it might have been operating from another country, even from Russia. I doubt China. But it makes you think, well, maybe Israel. Maybe Bibi. I mean, he's got a dome. Bibi, something on Trump, like? If you don't do this, I'm going to tell. Then it got me thinking even deeper. Because even back to the time when Kamala lost to Trump, and I know many Republicans will get annoyed with me for saying this, but we have to understand, we cannot not have all got it wrong. There was many psychics said Kamala Harris was going to get in. It had just been tweaked slightly. Many psychics said Kamala Harris was going to win the election. What if something happened? What if there was cheating? What if whatever was controlling the show, promising help to get him back in and manipulated the numbers? So here he is, back in again. And yes, years ago, I went online and said, you've all been had by Q. He was lying and it's crazy. It's crazy, crazy stuff. You know, is there any Star Trek fans listening? Now, Trekkers, tonight, you'll know, right? One of the series, I'm not sure if it's in the Next Generation, but there was an actual being called Q. Then they've even got the Galactic Federation, which was also in Star Trek. It just makes you wonder, doesn't it? The reason why I'm saying that is because you're going into the alien community and they're all talking about the Galactic Federation. It just makes you wonder. Because I do actually think that there has been psyops within all of that situation as well. And as many followers know, my channel has covered star beings and tried to resist doing this. I have been. And I moved on to more the world predictions because of all the manipulation, the cliques and the cults. If you don't go along with it, they get nasty. A bit like what MAGA was doing. How dare you? How dare you question? That could have been an ulterior motive. Get down on your knees and kiss this man's feet. Who do you think you are? And I'm thinking on social media, the mark of the beast, is it? Are we all being had by Lucifer? Maybe Tucker Carlson's right. How many people are getting triggered right now? It's not nice to know the truth. So he's back in again. And then I thought, all right, okay, give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, maybe we did all get it wrong. Maybe he's just for the goodness of mankind. Thank God I didn't come out and directly say what I really thought back then. That it could have been Q. And it could have been used, yeah, people to do this, to help the numbers. So I'm going to say something quite now, right? If you look at Kim Jong-un and the way things operate in North Korea, they all look very mind-controlled, clapping like little seagulls. They all have that strange gaze across their face. Exactly what was happening with the MAGAs, exactly the same. And sometimes within the galactic communities as well, online. Anyway, so now he's back again. And what he said the second time around was that while he was in the presidency, there would never be a war. Never be a war. And even I felt quite happy at the time. I thought, that's good. That's great. Maybe he is good. Maybe he's really will do some good. But that didn't happen, did it? And as you know, there's been the war that has taken place in Iran. Now I'm going to backtrack because I read for a lot of people, and I'm going to go back to 2014, 2015, maybe it's no later than 2016, right? There was a gentleman who reached out to me. I'm not saying what nationality he was, but he was in Britain. And he contacted me, terrified. It was late at night, and he was seeing what the deep state was planned to do with Iran. And he said Israel would be used for this, that it would lead the way and manipulate the US. Now, at the time, I thought the guy was crazy, but maybe he's not. It frightened us a little bit, and I was just trying to calm the guy down on the phone. But then he said he was on the run and he had information, a bit like a whistleblower, really. So he promised that he would ring back, and he didn't, and I didn't have his number. I think it was a withheld number what he rang for, but he did sound really scared on the phone. I'm now beginning to think, I don't know if that guy's still alive or not. If he is, and he hears this, please contact me. But because he reached out to me in confidence, I never said anything at the time. And I'm not naming names. I'm just telling you now, looking back, retrospected everything, that's what happened. But that man was right. Everything what that man said to me came true. He said they were going to do all of that. You know, the Gaza Strip and everything in Iran. He said that. You can believe us if you all don't believe us, but take it as it will. But I am telling the truth. So it got me thinking, because Bibi literally hates Muslims, and that's much. He hates them that much that he would wipe them out. The whole civilization removed. Those aren't Trump's words. Those are Bibi's words, but Trump said it. Is he under control? Is he under mind control? You know, nobody's immune to what's going on, but you also have such a thing as free will. So to me, Trump has been zapped. He's been got at, but he's also his own worst enemy. He has control of the situation, and he took the bait. Why would he take the bait? He knew what he was doing. The question is, what does Bibi have on Donald Trump? Is it possible Bibi knows about the manipulation and the favours that have been done for him in the past by people in high places, very high places? I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just a girl what talks to the wall. So now we have a situation that I did predict, that at the time I was attacked again for, is I lost thousands of subscribers, but I'm not bothered because I would rather tell the truth than be part of a clique or a cult. I did say that there would be a split in the Republican Party. Can you remember when I said that? And I believe I predicted that 2 or 3 years ago, maybe as I was saying that. I said this would all happen. Predicted the war as well. But sure enough, it has all happened. Look at everything. Look at all the right-wingers which have turned against him. Alex Jones, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson. Tucker! Of all people, not one of them now are supporting Trump the way they once did. Because they know he's not acting the right way. Not the Trump they thought they knew. How many Republicans are listening to this now and feel the same? I'm not trying to defend Republicans here, but I do believe there has been some mass trickery. Mass trickery. If you knew the whole lot, you wouldn't want to get out of bloody bed in the morning. So the question is, are we looking at a complete con man, criminal? Or are we looking at this in a godly sense where Tucker is right and he is the Antichrist? And before you start biting back and attacking me, I'm just saying, it does say in the Bible that he will be much loved. I'm just saying. Now, what comes next? Lately, as you know, the leader of the Pakistan has come forward and is trying to help as a go-between. And I did say there would be another leader would come in and try to help. So I don't know if it is this man or somebody else, but there is a big twist in all of this to happen. But one thing I do know is this: God is higher than any of this evil. This genocide that is going on across the planet at the moment, because what that is beyond me. I will never forget that frightened man who rang me late at night, one night from London, terrified of being followed because of what he was telling me. I will never forget that phone call. He said that it has been planned. This has been planned for a very, very long time. So what you've got here is division. And I'm not saying it is to turn people away from Jews, because I have many Jewish friends. I love them dearly. I'm talking about leaders. I'm talking about nutters trying to blow up countries and wipe out civilizations. They're not bothered about human beings, about goodness, about who we are. They have no respect for human life. Blown up babies in schools, little girls. God moves in mysterious ways, and tonight I speak directly from source, and I will say this. Listen carefully to what I'm saying. There will be a bridge that falls. Many will perish. There will be towers that fall and burn and smoulder. The skies will go red, then black. The nations will come together as one and demand that a man who has been looked down upon, scoffed at, laughed at, will rise and stop this and change the course of human history. Troops will go out, troops will come back. Excuse me. Then they will perish. Then the troops will go out again. And this time not to attack. This time many troops from every nation will go out to help and to free those who are trapped. We are living in such times of great trickery. We are living in times of great sorrow. But we are also living in times of great revelations to come. This is all a distraction. Melania Trump came out onto social media, as you know, because she knew things was about to come down. She knew it, and I believe with my remote viewing tonight, what I see, that Melania was brought in, was connected, and that the man who brought her into the US was also heavily connected with Epstein. This is all one big shit show, and a huge show to distract you from the real Epstein list. Can you not see it, guys? How deep do you want me to go down this bunny hole? Do you want the truth? Do you really, really want the truth? I'll give you the bloody truth. Manipulation. Heavy manipulation. And what about the manipulation involving Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner? Just look at the history of those people. Just look at it. Right? I don't know how much more anyone can excuse this man. I know one thing, he's going to go out with a big bang very, very soon. Okay. Now for the final. Charlie Kirk. Have you ever thought for 1 minute that the same people who have been manipulating the whole thing, working with Trump, also the same people who took Charlie Kirk out? Charlie knew the truth. Charlie had the potential to be the next president of the United States of America. The clean-cut American boy next door. Perfect. Not perfect, but he was a truth seeker. The rabbit hole is very, very deep. And if you want more of this, I will give you more, but you need to understand everybody, should I say, nobody's immune to this snake. This snake that is slithering across every land around this planet. Greed is a funny thing. And when people do not get their own way, they can manipulate any situation to get somebody out of the way. So really, poor Charlie didn't stand a chance. He had the deep state with a gun to his head. And the more I've gone down this rabbit hole, the more possible it seems that somebody very close to him is also entwined in all of this. I compared it actually. One of the videos that I looked into, you'll have to check it out. It reminded us of the film in Ghost where Patrick Swayze was playing Sam, and it turned out that his mate was behind it to get him out of the way. It's all about money. So, I just feel that it's so deep, the rabbit hole. I'm not going to say much more on that subject because I haven't got much more to say on it right now. Okay? But what I do know is there is big things to come down very, very soon. Big things. You need to watch this space. Okay? Because what is about to come out is going to be huge. Watch very closely because I'm going to take you back to the Mueller report and what is to come. What will be leaked is going to be massive. It is so deep, it's going to reveal so much, and it's going to reopen old cases. Even to do with the Steele dossier. It's all entwined on both sides. And it's not just about the US, it's also about England as well, the UK. Do not think for 1 minute that Hillary Clinton and Donald J. Trump are enemies. They are all in it to win it, and they all scratch each other's backs. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. But as my nana would say, they're all tarred with the same brush. I believe by May, right, May is going to bring everything to a head, and there are going to be more raids to come. Now, I'm not sure if it's Mar-a-Lago or you're looking at somewhere else, okay? Watch this space. Could be golf courses, but it's something else linked with Trump. And if it's not linked with Trump, it's somebody close to him. Watch this space. Remember, I see logbook signatures and they can't avoid that. It's all going to come out. I think there's so much scandal coming out in the next 2 to 3 weeks that you will absolutely be gobsmacked. There is going to be massive blue wave in the midterms. I'm telling you that now, but something is going to happen before then. I do know why I don't know why I'm getting this, but I'm getting the 15th, the 16th, the 20th and the 21st. Just remember that. And also remember, this is just my take. Because I'm just the girl that talks to the wall. But I've seen Trump shake hands with secret military, underground bases. This is all very deep. It's like the deep state has tentacles everywhere. It's all about control and manipulation. Then you've got the space programs. Yeah, massively behind a lot of this. I do really believe this. Or they're funding the space programs. When you had in the 9/11 situation, you had billions of dollars went missing from the Pentagon. And I believe it was funneled into the space programs. I mean, it's basically like Star Wars out there, guys. They are literally FaceTiming each other from planet to planet. And us mortals are sitting here thinking, oh God, they're going to start a war and blow the bloody earth up. They're not bothered. You've got Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein, submarines. It's basically like I said 4 or 5 years ago. It's all James Bond stuff what's happening. And as for aliens, don't even get me started. I believe they're walking amongst her. I've seen them. But there will be disclosure, not in the way you think, but it's going to come quicker than you realise. And when it all kicks off, go inside, shut the door, prepare, and understand it's only temporary. Many will think what is coming is a false psyop, a false flag, a black swan event, but it is real. And there are only 3 things I believe that can stop this. Aliens, disclosure very, very soon, a godly intervention, or a warlike situation that brings everybody to their knees, and then we start again. I'm going to go with 1 or 2 what's going to happen. I don't know why, right, but I feel the rulers, the BlackRocks, the people in high society, they're going to get a shock very soon when their investments, when everything drops, and a lot of people will make a lot of money and become very rich. The world is at stage, but it's also about to change. But we as the people will go on, will carry on. And for the rulers who are wanting to wipe away civilization, think of this for 1 minute. If you think like that, if they think like that, they want to do, they could do worse, couldn't they? They could also wipe away everybody. Is that their next plan? Not just a nation, all of it. They'll be all right in their little bunkers and they're going off into space. So when it all kicks off, go inside, shut the door, say no, and it will pass. But when we come out of our houses, when it's all over and done with, the world will be very, very different. 4th kind is on its way very, very soon. Take care. God bless. Wherever you are around the world. This is your psychiclj signing out.